hear about this.
Good to see you again. You'll find her over in the East Wing with our newest arrival.
Not the first time Nahlia's gotten herself in over her head. I suppose that's why I'm here. To help keep her head above water.
Quite the adventure we're on together, eh? I hear Nahlia's conversation with Archmage Galarian went surprisingly well. Don't take my word for it, though. She'll have much to say on the matter, I'm sure.
There you are. I wanted to introduce you. This is Chronicler Ferandil.
Good to meet you. Nahlia and I have been touring the library, and I've already found, well, some terribly surprising things.
Ferandil is a chronicler, one of the best the guild has to offer. You two talk a moment, and then we can discuss what comes next.
Chronicler Ferandil, at your service. Chronicler of tomes, scrolls, scripts, and otherworldly delights. I'm glad that I was able to make the trip. I think you'll find my skills quite valuable on this most unexpected expedition. I've been tasked with facilitating this lost art form you've rediscovered. Scribing. How novel. As I understand it, you will be contacting and convincing these luminary creatures, empowering the altar and all that. I'll scour the complex for grimoires and scripts. I've already found quite a few, aided, perhaps, by that... what's his name? Indric chap. I've never been led by a faun to a trove of ancient secrets before, but it was an exciting experience.
It's good to be back. I know it took some time to get us all down here. Apologies. Archmage Galarian and the Votary commander needed significant convincing to turn this into a full-fledged expedition. How did it go with the crow? You just continue to impress again and again. With the luminary strength added to the altar, who knows what you'll be able to accomplish? As you might imagine, guild leadership is very interested in the art of scribing. For the duration, you have more luminaries to find, this complex needs to be explored, and the secrets of scribing are just waiting to be teased from the past. What about you, friend? This expedition would be nothing without you. Magnus be praised. We've secured supplies for a full-fledged expedition, you've allied with your first luminary, and the altar surges with new power. Not bad for a day's work. What happens next is up to you, be it griffin, netch, or dragon. We've gathered their fables in the main hall. If you have any questions, let me know. Except for what's beyond the unmarked door. We do not. Julian and I have already begun speculating, based on some early hints. Our best guess? It's Ulfsild's private study. But I suppose we'll find out, won't we? I did, and she was a bit cryptic. I mean, especially cryptic. Sometimes it's hard to tell with a magical talking crow, but she seemed like she didn't want to talk about it. You mean Ferandil? I reached out to him while I was waiting for the Votary commander to decide what she wanted me to do. I've worked with him in the past, and he's... unusual. But he's the best at what he does. Absolutely. We're relying on him to help us understand what's useful, what's valuable, and what's just scrap paper. He told me the altar is already vibrating along his transmutational axis. I have no idea what that means, but I think it's good. Ferandil has this way of getting his hands on things you wouldn't expect. Like, he's got a sixth sense about ancient relics and magic. Basically, he's a treasure hunter and merchant, but he's extremely reliable.
If you'll excuse me, I've got Mages Guild business on the mind. I'm sure you're keeping busy too.
found whatever this is. It's not the Fable of the Netch, as I recall it.
Nevertheless,
I am occasionally fond of the Netch's levity. However, if you are short on patience for playful antics, you may find this a difficult trial. Worth it, I think, on your path to master scribing. A prank, no doubt. The Netch is known for pranks and tricks. It enjoys wandering invisibly, causing mischief and spreading what it considers to be joy. The Netch almost certainly traded out the Scalarium's fable for one of its authorship. I think it likely the Netch will reveal some sign to you. It delights in showing off its cleverness. Nahlia and I discovered an echo in the West Wing that should relate to the Netch. I'm sure whatever you learn there will be most instructive. I hope nothing else has been tampered with. There's already so much wrong in the Scalarium. So much that didn't stand the test of time. A vain, jovial, and generous being. It approaches life's solemn moments as an opportunity for new ways to demonstrate its wit and whimsy. The Netch and Ulfsild got along famously well, but I find it to be a little much. It enjoys being the center of attention, its tendrils ever-reaching forevermore. Ruffles my feathers a bit. Its actions will seem enigmatic, even esoteric, but it really does mean well, I think.
Normally, I'd be more wary of something as powerful as a luminary playing tricks, but the Netch's sense of humor seems harmless.
If you are seeing this, the Crow has set you on the path to learn the art of scribing. A world of magic awaits you. I've left behind another sort of guide. The True Sight Lens. Seek it out in the East Wing. The lens and the fables are signposts to seek the luminaries. And they will teach you far more than I ever could. I wish my time as the Scholarium had ended differently. Nothing would stop my husband from making his mad bargain. But through you, the art of scribing will live on.
What in Ifre's name? Is that a squirrel? Hey there! I thought you could use some help tracking down the fable. It seems like this Netch has a very distinct sense of humor. I'm willing to play along for now if you are. The Netch is a trickster, but it's also proud of its wit. Getting the upper hand with someone like that is simple. Flatter them. Reminds me of a Covenant knight I once met who tried all night to get my attention. But that's a story for another day. I think we do just as they did in the fable. Here, allow me. Oh, great and glorious Netch! Your cleverness exceeds us. We beseech your aid in finding your true fable. Guide us to your Netchy bosom. Make our lofty dreams come true. I think it worked. Quick, follow them!
Good heavens, I say!
Aha! You found it! The true fable! Not as good as my version, of course.
Any luck finding the real fable? Let me look. Here, this part about the river settlement. I bet anything that's Bolmera. Lovely place. There's a big river running through the middle of town. Sounds like it was even bigger back when the fable was written.
I made this lens so you might see the world as I do. The very warp and weft of magic laid out before me. A look through the lens will allow you to see impressions left behind by the luminaries. Follow these signposts, and you will find their domains. I saw signs of this ancient magic from an early age. Certain fables seem to sing with the same magic. Only when I was grown did I revisit them. That was how I found the Indrik. And the Indrik is who I urge you to seek out first.
Something keeps tugging on my robes, like a child playing a game. But no one's there. It's the Netch, isn't it? This blob of yours is testing my patience. Let me see. This bit at the end that mentions Azura's coast. I bet it's referring to Sadrith Mora and Tel Galen. Just plot a course between those two towers, and I bet you'll find the door. That's what you're looking for, right?
Well, more tricks? Or did you find the real fable of the Netch? The real fable? Of course. I remember it well. Let's see. There was mention of the Zainab, yes? The ruins you seek are called Nechuleft. Be sure not to fall like the Ashlander in the story. The Netch may not see fit to catch you.
There are so many awe-inspiring creatures whose shape this luminary might have taken. Indrik, dragon, griffin, and yet it's a Netch. It's rather silly, but perhaps that's the entire point. Let's see... right at the top here. The Daedric ruins. I don't know the name, but they're on an island southeast of Voss. If only the place was still full of chickens like the fable says.
We have an accord.